just to pick up where I left off, I'm taking bigger risks, so I'm gonna have bigger drawdowns, obviously. But if you look at my Sharpe ratio, the risk is worth the reward. You just gotta think of it in terms of numbers. You know what I mean? You're risking $1 to make $3, or you're risking $10 to make $100. It's really that's what the Sharpe ratio is all about, right? So it's really risk appetite. What do you have? So basically, I invested $10,000, right? You can see over the course of this time, this is like 1 year's time, right? And over the course of that 1 year's time, that $10,000 turned into $153,000, right? Now that's a ridiculous return because the typical return on your market is going to be what 6%, but inflation is 5%, right? And then you got to pay taxes on any kind of profit that you make. So basically, if you invest the way that these big hedge fund managers and all these other guys invest, you're not going to make any money. You're just wasting your friggin' time. That's the way that I see it. Even Warren Buffett, I mean, he targets like 10% after inflation and stuff like that. So you gotta calculate all that stuff in there. But I just want you to look at this, because somebody asked me this question. He said, "How much leverage are you using?" Stuff like that. So if you look at these are all color coded. I use percentages to show you what the percentages were, and you can see the win loss ratio and everything in here. It's all baked in, right? So you can look at my win percentage. You see my win percentage on this algorithm is 71.76. My loss percentage is 21.24. My leverage, right, if you look at it, never ever exceeds, I think, 0.55 or something like that. So basically, I'm using half the money I have to generate these returns here. You know what I mean? With basically each trading day, and this thing is growing over the course of time, as you can see. So in 1 year's time, I made $153,000 salary on a $10,000 investment. Now, now imagine if this was $100,000 investment. Do you understand what that would do? Now people say, "Well, you can't do that because of size." You can't. I've tested it. Right when you hit around $1 million invested, it'll start walking out on you. But at $100,000, that's nothing. That's nothing with trading these kinds of stocks. So 100 grand, you can do the same thing with this. So I would say if you have about 20 or 30 grand, right, or even $50,000, this algorithm would make you a millionaire in a year's time. And it's for me finding things like this and doing this type of research. I've written like 4 algorithms across this time. I mean, it's fun and it's very challenging, and it's something I like to do just simply because of the fact that if I'm if I end up being successful at this, I'm going to be very very wealthy, and it's not anything that you have to prove to anybody. It's more or less you prove it to yourself, right? Because you take these algorithms, you run them, you do what you want to do. This is why I'm so pissed off at the Quantopian platform that it took away live trading because I coded all this on here, and now I'm forced to having to port it over into what is it, IB, Interactive Brokers. So I got to port it over into this over here and then use their, so it takes time. You got to write additional code and stuff like that. But that's why I'm building. That's why I'm building this. Uh, that's why I started building this. And when I get done with this, it's gonna do all of that live trading stuff for me. So I'm gonna plug this in. This is all written in Node, and I wrote all of this in Node using Angular and MongoDB's in the back end. I've basically got all the features baked into here. I can see news. I can search news. I have charts. I have everything here. Moving averages. The whole thing. I'm building a full trading platform. My charts are all dynamic, and I can do all kinds of cool stuff with them. And this stuff, even the stuff here is basically going to refresh on a minute interval. And I just figured out how to actually get the real time data on this. So I'm gonna build a chart when I get done where you can do an actual chart trading session on it. So but again, this is fun stuff for me. It may not be fun stuff for you, but I mean, like I'm enjoying every minute of what it is that I'm doing. I totally love it. Um, and this is just it's all this stuff is cool to me. You know what I mean?